All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. We are going to get started here. I want to welcome everybody to the webinar titled Simplifying Electronic Prescribing with XLDent. My name is Jennifer Gibbs, and I'll be one of your hosts today. We're really excited that you've joined us today and are ready to learn more about how XLDent ePrescribing, which is powered by DoseSpot, can help transform your practice and how it handles prescriptions. All right, so also joining with me today is Darren Grimm, one of our key members of our sales team here at XLDent. And over the next 30 minutes, we're going to show you how ePrescribing helps to streamline your workflows, enhances patient safety, and helps you stay compliant with any regulatory requirements, any state or federal mandates, and all of the things that come with ePrescribing. So as we get started here and before we jump into the content today, we're going to go over a couple housekeeping items to help you get the most out of today's webinar. During this session, feel free to ask any questions anytime throughout the presentation. There is a questions button in your GoToWebinar control panel. So all you have to do is type your question and hit send. We will be keeping an eye on those throughout the session, and we'll have a Q&A part at the end of the webinar. So any questions that you've sent, we will be sure to cover those at that time. And today's webinar is being recorded. So if you've missed anything or if you have a colleague you want to share it with, this recording will be available on the XLDent website in about 24 hours. So tomorrow afternoon, that should be available for you. All right. So with that, we're going to take a look at a couple things and dive right into our topic. So really what we're going to focus on here is looking at the shift from paper to digital prescriptions. E-prescribing isn't just a convenience, it's really an important part of providing safe, efficient patient care. Shortly, we're going to take a look at some specific features within DoseSpot that enhances prescribing safety. But one of the things is the regulations. So we know that in many states, the majority of states, in fact, regulations have been put in place over the years that do require electronic transmission of prescriptions, either for all your medications or for controlled substances. And really, in addition to that, such as compliance and regulations, patient expectations are also shifting. So they're used to visiting their physician. Any prescriptions needed are sent off to the pharmacy, and the patient has the convenience of walking into the pharmacy and it being ready for pickup as soon as they arrive or shortly after, not having to hand over a paper prescription or wait for any administrative staff or team members to call in a prescription. It's just there and ready to go. So that's some of what we're focused on and why the importance of recognizing the shift from especially paper or called-in prescriptions to electronic ones. And XLDent's integration with DoseSpot really offers a seamless and compliant e-prescribing experience. This was built for dental professionals. So it is really got your workflows in mind when this was all put together and when we partnered with DoseSpot. So from verifying current patient medications, monitoring controlled substances, all of that is built in. XLDent is integrated, like I said, with that DoseSpot platform. So just a little bit of background on DoseSpot here. They are a certified e-prescribing platform. They enable healthcare providers to electronically write and transmit prescriptions to pharmacies, so just the basics. They really have been a leader in e-prescribing for a long time, over 15 years. DoseSpot is certified by SureScripts for the EPCS part of it, the electronically prescribed controlled substances, which we'll get into here in a little bit. And they do comply, of course, with the highest e-prescribing and security standards that are out there. Part of the DoseSpot platform is access to patient medication history, access to and interaction with or visibility into real-time drug-to-drug and drug-to-allergy interaction checks, getting dental alerts for specific medications that may be prescribed that have an effect on dental treatment. Of course, that secure transmission from your office to the pharmacy. And of course, like I mentioned, that compliance with any DEA requirements. So any requirements for electronically prescribed controlled substances, whether it be a state requirement or even just a security requirement for individual providers to be able to prescribe controlled substances. And then also with DoseSpot, there is a direct link to most state mandated prescription drug monitoring programs. So there's typically a site or a website that you go to log and manage your drug monitoring program within your state. And DoseSpot has connections to most of those state mandated PDMPs or PMPs. All right, so with that, just a last reminder here, please send in any questions that you may have at any time throughout the session. You don't have to wait till the end. They go right into that question bucket here, and we'll just gather those and make sure that we cover all of those towards the last 5 minutes or so. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and hand the baton over to Darren. He is going to show you more about how e-prescribing within XLDent fits into your workflow and some of these details about some of these things that I just mentioned. So Darren, I should have handed the baton over to you here, and take it away.
Sharing my screen here. So hopefully everyone should be able to see the XLDent appointment book. And the nice thing with ePrescribing is you really have the ability to not really disrupt your current workflow. So whether it's the clinician that's normally doing the ePrescribing or if it's the administrative that's doing the ePrescribing, both sides can access the ePrescribing service and write those prescriptions. So what we have in XLDent is we have what are called proxy users. And proxy users are non-prescribing users that can go into the e-prescribing area, write up the prescriptions. They just don't have the ability to physically send them. So the prescribing doctor does need to log in to the DoseSpot through a patient record. And if there's any pending prescriptions that have been filled out by the proxy users, they'll see those and they'll be able to send those off. So really, it just makes it really seamless, like I said, for the clinical team or the administrative team to start that process, get those all filled out. Or if the doctor's the one typically do those, again, the dentist can just go right into the clinical chart, access the e-prescribing, and fill it out right from there. So I'm going to start with the administrative side and kind of show you what that looks like on this side. So first, I'm just going to search for my patient's record. And right from the patient record screen, I have my prescriptions icon. And then down at the bottom right here, we have our e-prescribing button. So when we have e-prescribing enabled, we'll just launch that e-prescribe and it will pull up the patient's e-prescribing window here. So a couple things to note. I will just close out of this real quickly here and go back to the patient record screen. There are required fields for the patient record. So first name, last name, date of birth, address, and a phone number needs to be in there for you to launch the e-prescribing window. If one of those fields is missing, you'll get an error message stating that you need to fill out those fields. So back to our e-prescribing window here. So it'll automatically pull in the patient information here that's needed. If we need to add any drug allergies, we can do those here. We can also add in our pharmacies right here. So if we have the patient's preferred pharmacy, we just click on this. We go ahead and search for that pharmacy and we add it to their record. I already have one here attached to our patient, so we're good to go. If we needed to add a second one, if the patient maybe has a preferred home pharmacy and then maybe a preferred work pharmacy, you can add more than one as well. Down at the bottom here, any active medications that have been filled or sent will show up in this area. Inactive medications will show up here. And then our medication history will also show, and this will actually send out basically a query to the sure scripts, and it'll actually pull in any medications that that patient has um, been using. So you'll be able to see those medication histories right here. It does take a little bit for that to go out, and then you'll see all of those that are out there. Writing that prescription is super simple. So all I have to do is click this add prescription button over here on the right. Then I can either start typing in that prescription down here, or you can also have a list of built-in favorites for your office. So you can use the favorites list to go in and use the most commonly used prescriptions you guys have for the office. So I'll just start over here and do, actually, you know what? First we'll do the pre-med here. So we're going to click on the favorite. It's going to automatically pull in our directions, our dispense, our tablets. This is all predetermined by the prescription that we saved, and I'll show you what that looks like when we do the controlled substance one. So I'm going to click on the effective date, and then right here I'm going to click Save Prescription. That prescription is ready to go out. Now you'll also see that there are these drug and allergy interactions that show up when you're sending something out. So if you do have a patient that has a drug allergy, you'll see that you'll get any of these interactions here as well. Otherwise, when you're ready to send it, you just check mark it and you click approve and send, and it'll send it right to the pharmacy. So I'm in a demo environment, so it's not actually going to send. And it'll actually give me a little error message, but um, it will look like it did go out here. And then it'll actually write into the XLDent software as well, and it'll show that it was sent out here. And then this status will actually update when it actually goes out, or if there's any error messages. So you can actually look at this information to see that as well. So if we're doing a controlled substance, it is a little different. So um, when we go in and add that prescription in here, there's some extra things that need to be done so that that prescription can go out. And it basically, there's two things. One, the prescriber has to have a PIN, so they have to have a PIN number that they can manually put in there. And then they also will have a app on their phone, and that app will have like a two-factor authentication. So it's going to have a code that's generating every 30 seconds, and so they'll have to enter in that code when they're ready to send that controlled substance. So if I search for a prescription, it's going to automatically give me my options, and then it's going to also give me my dosage options as well. And then again, I can go ahead and click in the effective date, put in my directions, put in if there's any refills, and then if I want to, I can go ahead and make that a favorite. So I can click on this save as favorite star here, and then when I click that save prescription, it's going to allow me to nickname that favorite as well. And when I'm ready to send the prescription, I'm just going to highlight it, click approve and send, click the ready to sign. And then here's where I have put in my PIN number. Then also I'll have my app on my phone where I'll put in that 6-digit code that'll be in here. So both of those are required to send that off. Once you put those in, you click the sign and send, and that'll send that controlled substance to the pharmacy. So a little bit of security measures in place, again, to try to just make sure that the provider is the one sending out that controlled substance. Couple things to note. So if a proxy user is the one that goes and fills that out, basically when the doctor logs in, they're going to have all of these notifications up here. So notifications are going to be a couple things. One, any proxy users that have set up a prescription. Also, refills from the pharmacy will show up in here as well. So if a patient has a refill and they requested a refill from the pharmacy, those refill requests will show up in here as well. Um, any uh, pharmacy that has any issues with filling the prescription, they can actually reach out back to that notification area as well and let the office know that they maybe have to change the pharmacy, and or if there's any issues with that physical prescription, they can also send any like adjustments, and if there's like an adjusted prescription that they can offer, they can put those in that notification area as well. Pretty sure I
All
think that
right.
covers pretty much everything here. So I will hand it back over
All right.
to Jenny.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. All right. I am checking over the questions panel here. Just another reminder that if you have any questions, please feel free to send them through with that little question mark button right in GoToWebinar. It looks like we've got a couple questions coming in here. So I think what we'll do here is um, just spend a couple minutes going through those, and we'll wait online here for another couple just to see if anybody else has any additional questions. Alrighty, so the one question that came up here is about the patient medication history. So the question is are those just medications that we've prescribed, or what is that? Like, how do you get that?
Yeah, so
So,
that that's a good question. So, yeah, so that'll actually be any prescriptions that have been filled by the office themselves, as well. It's also going to query SureScripts, and it's going to basically be any prescriptions that have been filled out by other prescribers that have been basically sent along electronically or um, manually input into the SureScripts website. So pretty much any prescription that that patient has been filled by another provider should show up in there.
okay. All right, perfect. Great, great. All righty. And the other question that came in here is about the pharmacies. Do we have to add all the pharmacies, or how do we get the pharmacies in there is the question.
So all the pharmacies are basically already pre-built in there. So all you have to do is click on the search pharmacy window and then just start typing in the pharmacy name. And then I would say also maybe put in the zip code and or state. That'll just help limit the number of offices, because obviously if you're doing like a CVS or a Walgreens, there's going to be plenty. So narrowing it down by zip code, city and or state is definitely going to help show you just the pharmacy that you're trying to find.
Great. Thank you. All right. Another question here that came in is this part of the software, or is there an additional fee for it for e-prescribing?
Good question. Yeah, so there is an additional cost for the e-prescribing service. It is per doctor pricing, so there is a one-time setup fee, and then it is per doctor pricing for the service. It's around a little over $700 a year for the service.
Okay. Is there a prescription limitation with that, or is it just like a flat rate?
So that's unlimited prescriptions, and that does include regular prescriptions and controlled substances. So there's no limit to the number of prescriptions you can assign.
Okay, great. Okay. Second part to that question is like, how do we enable this or how would we get started? So certainly you can reach out to our team and we will help get the little bit of paperwork. There's nothing too crazy. There's just a little bit of paperwork to get started with the enrollment process. So it's fairly pain-free and easy to get set up and running. And then of course, with any new service that you add or anything new that you're adding, our team will hold your hand, our support team holds your hand with getting it activated and set up and showing you how to use it as well. Great. All right. Well, let's see if there's any other questions here. The one of the questions here is, what is the setup fee per provider for this?
Yep. Yeah. So that one-time setup fee is $299 per doctor for that setup.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any other questions? Feel free to drop those in here. Otherwise, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. Um, if certainly if you have any questions after our webinar today, you can feel free to reach out to us at any time. There's a phone number right at the bottom of this slide, as well as an email address, so you can feel free to reach out directly to us, and we can help with any other questions that you might have. If it is something that you wanted to get set up and activated for your practice, or would like to get more information, feel free to reach out to us and we will be happy to get that going for you and help you with that. All right. I think that kind of wraps up all the questions out there here. That was some great information and hopefully will help your practice make a decision to incorporate integrated electronic prescribing in your practice. And hopefully you saw how easy and seamless that is. So thank you everybody for attending. You will receive an email follow-up tomorrow with a link to that recording in case there's anything you would like to review or rewatch or share with a colleague. Otherwise, thank you for attending today and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.